Phenology is the study of life cycle events in organisms and the timing at which these events occur. When a rosebush flowers, when a population of spring peepers begins to call, and when piping plovers migrate from their winter homes and arrive on Cape Cod beaches are all examples of phenological events. The Citizen Science Phenology Monitoring Program at Cape Cod National Seashore utilizes a group of dedicated volunteers to collect data over the course of many years. These data will serve to establish baselines and eventually trends in the phenology for an array of species and events. Volunteers are tasked with monitoring a specific ecosystem throughout a season and are trained in species identification and how to observe and record their data. In the park, volunteers collect phenological data on 8 species: red maple, eastern red cedar, white oak, beach plum, black cherry, rugosa rose, smooth cordgrass, and red-winged blackbirds. In plants, the volunteers look for new leaf buds, opening flowers, and the ripening of fruit. For red-winged blackbirds, the number of active individuals and number of birds calling or singing are recorded. The formation of ice on kettle ponds is also monitored. The monitoring takes place at numerous sites within the park, including Fort Hill, Hatches Harbor, Salt Pond Visitor Center, Herring Cove, Nauset Marsh, and High Head. Dick Spokes, one of the phenology monitoring volunteers, is at Herring Cove at the end of July.
Going out to take a look at 6 shrubs, beach plum and rugosa rose. And we're kind of nearing the end of the season, so we hope to see some fruit.
Phenological data is usually recorded as the day of the year that a particular event occurs. From year to year, these types of events can be highly variable. This type of variation is normal and is a function of many local, physical, and ecological factors. For example, when a rugosa rose flowers may be dependent on a number of variables tied to day length, hydrology, soil chemistry, disturbance, extreme weather events, dietary habits of herbivores, and other factors. Data that is collected over many years may show long-term patterns and trends that often reveal greater forces shaping the timing of these events. In many cases, climate has a strong influence on when an organism undergoes a particular phenological event. Phenology is among the simplest of ways in which to track changes in how organisms respond to their environment, and specifically changes in climate. By monitoring the timing of annual life cycle events in organisms, one can test the hypothesis that changes in the organism's environment are altering the initiation and duration of these events. However, meaningful trends cannot be discerned with only a few years' worth of data. In order to gauge the relationship between an organism's life cycle events and something as broad as climate, data must be collected for several decades. Phenology monitoring at the seashore began in 2011, meaning it will likely be many years before park resource scientists and managers can accurately attribute long-term trends. However, the data is shared with the U.S. National Phenology Network, a consortium of individuals and organizations that collect, share, and use phenology data, models, and related information. This allows data collected at the seashore to contribute to a nationwide effort to track phenological changes across the country. In just the first year of the program, citizen scientists at the seashore submitted 907 observations to the National Phenology Network.
My name's James Rudd. For the last couple of months, I've been going once a week to do the monitoring of the bushes and trees in 2 places, one in Salt Pond and one at High Head. I'm not particularly experienced at, looking at the plant life like an experienced botanist would be, but I think I know enough about observations and tabulations to probably, make it useful. Anything related to climate change is really, I think, important. And I think that this whole area of the National Park Service, looking at the environment, looking at conservation, looking at what we have to do to preserve our environment is extremely important. So anything that can be done in that area, I would love to be involved in.
It's important to be aware of the potential consequences of accelerated climate change. Particularly the Northeast, project a far-reaching and in some cases dramatic suite of changes to physical and biological processes. In addition to the phenological shifts, ecological changes associated with climate change include shifts in species distribution and changes in the interactions between species. Cape Cod National Seashore has undertaken an ambitious approach to addressing climate change. With the understanding that the National Park Service should fulfill its role as a steward of natural resources, the seashore has taken significant steps to ensure that it's limiting its own carbon footprint through the Climate-Friendly Parks program. The citizen scientists of the Phenology Monitoring program play an important role in the recording of phenology data in the park. Over time, these data will show long-term trends that can help park scientists and managers identify how organisms are responding to changes in their physical environment. In turn, the program gives members of the public the opportunity to engage in meaningful scientific data collection, and in doing so, learn more about the natural world.
It's a very nice community, and I think that I've enjoyed the way the program works and the way the Park Service personnel run it, and all of the wonderful interns and volunteers that work on it. So that's been very exciting, yeah.
The project serves as a way for the public to be actively involved in observing climate-related changes and to aid in seashore natural resource preservation and protection. For more information about the Phenology Monitoring Program or to find out how you can volunteer, please visit us online at the address on the screen.